Welcome back, friends. Are you ready for a story that might shake the whole hive today? Because what you're about to hear isn't just gossip. It's the kind of twist that makes the whole industry nervous, the kind of story that makes managers text publicists before the episode even ends. Let's dive into a feud that nobody saw coming, one that started as admiration and slowly turned into pure tension. I'm not angry, I'm a little disappointed, Jason Lee said, almost like he was trying to convince himself. Because as much as I've loved this woman for years, I told you I don't like her as much as I used to. I still love her, but I'm not the super fan I used to be. You know how much I was? I mean, this woman, this was like everything, and this together was everything. But is it? They say when love turns to hate, it burns hotter than fire. And that might be exactly what's happening with Jason Lee. This is the same man who once praised Beyonce nonstop, but now people claim he's sitting on shocking receipts that could seriously damage her image. The switch up is wild. Remember about a year ago when Jason was on his own show and hinted at a massive scandal involving Beyonce, but bleeped the whole thing out? His co-hosts looked stunned, like he had just dropped something too heavy for TV, the kind of thing you'd only say in a private room in LA, not on a mic. He talked about spending tens of thousands of dollars, over $40,000 in tickets and experiences, and sharing it all with friends. He said he'd done a lot, then stopped himself and said he wasn't going to say it on air because if he did, Beyonce's good internet would go crazy. He decided to tell only his co-hosts while producers muted that section so the audience couldn't hear. You'll never know what it is, he teased, but I want you to see their reactions and I'm going to do it right now. They reacted instantly, eyes wide, hands over mouths, that nervous laugh people do when they hear something they know is dangerous. That moment alone told viewers he wasn't bluffing. He was acting like he had real dirt on Beyonce and Jay-Z at the time. Most people assumed he was hinting at divorce rumors. He even teased a story that they were over, that the two of them were pretending for their fans, pretending for the cameras, pretending on tour that they were still a couple. But now, new whispers say it was something deeper. Something tied to the most sensitive area of any celebrity's life, their children, their privacy, and the way the public tries to claw into both. That rumor alone has been enough to send shockwaves through fan circles. And it might explain why Beyoncé completely ignored Jason at the Rock Nation brunch in 2023. It was impossible to miss. She avoided him like her life depended on it, while he tried everything to get even a second of her attention. Fans online picked up on the vibe immediately, replaying clips like they were analyzing a thriller. Jason later tried to explain his feelings. I don't even really know how to explain how I'm going to say what I'm going to say because I still love her. I'm just not in love with her like I used to be. That's the nicest way I can say it, only because I'm annoyed by how fake she comes off. Her brand, not her. I don't think Beyonce is fake. Just like I don't think Kamala Harris is a bad person. But sometimes your team can make you move in a way that does not translate well. And as I become deeper into both the culture, pop culture, celebrity culture, this and that, and I've looked at the whole world, I kind of have a better sense on what's real and authentic and true and what's kind of manufactured. People online started saying Beyoncé was keeping her distance because Jason knows something he shouldn't. One person even wrote, he knows and she knows he is aware of some of her business. And the way that moment played out in front of cameras did not calm the speculation at all. Another person added, he's got something on her. But others pushed back fast. Some fans argued maybe Beyoncé simply didn't want to deal with Jason because of how chaotic he can get online. One person said it loud and clear. Beyoncé knows he is messy and very problematic and wants nothing to do with you. Jason, get over it. Their words hit like a punch. But here, as the plot twist, Jason clearly hasn't let it go, not even a little. He still talks about the Carters as the definition of Black excellence, at least in how they present themselves. But he keeps reminding people that behind the scenes, there are very different conversations going on. That's where things get dark. Word on the street is that he's gearing up to stir the pot again. And this time, he might be aiming straight at Beyoncé's family image in a bigger way. People are already whispering that Jason is ready to drop stories about how the public reacts to Blue Ivy and the twins, and how those reactions might be creating pressure behind the scenes that no amount of money or awards can erase. Recently, an online blind item began circulating, claiming that Beyoncé and Tina Knowles were frustrated with the constant comparisons fans make between Blue and Jay-Z, not because of anything Blue did, but because the internet can be relentless. The rumor claimed they were tired of strangers dissecting a child's features like it's a game. And honestly, that part isn't hard to believe. The internet barely lets celebrity kids breathe. According to that same item, Blue Ivy has become aware of online comments about her looks, something no kid should ever have to deal with. The so-called insider claimed she started leaning into makeup and styling early, trying to shape her public image as she grows up, especially with the spotlight getting brighter after her recent performances and award show appearances. That alone shows the pressure that fame puts on a young person, even without the wild rumors attached. Some gossip accounts even floated long-term image strategy theories, basically, how the family might manage public perception as she gets older. These are standard celebrity rumors. Nothing confirmed, and definitely nothing involving procedures or anything harmful. Just the usual wild speculation fans tend to create when they treat real people like characters in a streaming series. But the messy part is this. People allege Jason's so-called dirt on Beyonce, and Jay-Z goes far beyond comments about Blue Ivy's public image. Jay-Z's name is getting louder and louder in the chatter, with people online trying to connect the dots between him and other powerful
We
figures
are
he's been
so honored
associated
to
with in the
receive
past,
this award.
including some who are now
Thank you to
facing their own
everyone who
explosive
made this
headlines.
possible.
The business ties, the old friendships, the mutual appearances at elite Hollywood parties, fans are trying to read into all of it. They also claim Jason is hinting at something involving the twins. Not real issues, not anything medical, but more of the same obsessive fan speculation about why some children are shown more publicly than others. You've probably seen those online comments questioning why Rumi appears more often in visuals or cameos, while Sir is kept more private. Rumi has been spotted modeling for her mom's projects and popping up in creative visuals, sometimes stepping into the spotlight in ways that feel like a soft Hollywood debut. Sir, on the other hand, is rarely seen at all, a choice plenty of celebrity families make for privacy. But of course, the internet doesn't handle privacy well. So the rumor mill twisted that into something dramatic, sinister, scandalous. And Jason seems ready to tap into that energy. Rumi has appeared more often lately, modeling for her mother's brand, showing up at major events, even joining Blue Ivy on stage during the tour runs. Meanwhile, Sir remains mostly out of view, and the internet has turned that lack of visibility into a full-blown mystery. Fans started asking questions, and the rumor crowd ran with it like they always do. Some people argue it's simply a girl thing, since most of the public moments center around fashion, performance, or creative projects. But then the conversation flips back to Jay-Z if it's about father-son stuff. Where are the moments of him and Sir doing those things together? That curiosity alone has fueled countless threads online. Take the Super Bowl, for example, a huge event plenty of fans label as prime dad and kid time. In 2024, Jay-Z showed up with Blue and Rumi, posing for photos on the field, smiling for cameras. Sir wasn't there. Once those photos hit the internet, the speculation machine switched into overdrive. Even at events where the whole family was allegedly present, like Beyoncé's major holiday performance last Christmas, people noticed only certain family members leaving with Jay-Z and grandmother Tina, all dressed in the same white aesthetic Beyoncé and Blue wore on stage. Again, Sir wasn't photographed. Naturally, the internet spun the missing picture into a storyline, ignoring the fact that plenty of famous parents keep at least one child almost completely private, especially in Los Angeles where paparazzi can appear out of nowhere. So when someone like Azalea Banks jumps online and throws out a cutting line accusing Beyoncé of hiding her son, people instantly twist it into something bigger. She once posted, "Stop hiding your son from the world, sis. People will find out sooner or later, and you're really going to look like a piece of ish for being ashamed of your own child." Her words blew up because that's what she does. She pokes for attention and the internet eats it up. And she hasn't been the only one taking wild shots. Kanai has also made comments about the family in the past, including a moment where he crossed a line in a post about the twins, a post he quickly deleted, reportedly to avoid getting his account banned. That moment created another wave of chaos online, even though it revealed more about his impulsive behavior than anything about the Carters. Beyonce has previously spoken about how complicated her delivery with the twins was, sharing that one of their hearts stopped a couple of times during labor, leading to an emergency C-section. That kind of trauma can make any family hyper-protective. Fans forget that privacy isn't a crime, it's a right. But the rumor world doesn't care about nuance. It cares about noise. And Jason Lee seems ready to lean into that noise again, stirring conversations about the Carters' family choices like it's his personal mission. Beyonce never specified which twin she meant when she talked about complications during delivery. But the internet did what it always does and started creating its own narrative. Online, experts began diagnosing her based on nothing but glimpses and fan-made assumptions, spinning random child behavior into entire theories. It got so exaggerated that people started claiming he couldn't read social cues, had sensory sensitivities, or was overly active, all based on tiny, out-of-context moments. Some even tried to push similar claims about Rumi, just to a lesser degree. Again, all speculation, not facts. Then gossip pages jumped in and claimed Rumi had a helper during public events to keep her comfortable in big crowds, something plenty of celebrity kids have for privacy and safety. But the rumor mill twisted that into something dramatic too, as if support staff automatically meant something was wrong. And that's why people say Jason might be exploiting sensitive family subjects. Not real secrets, but the chaotic stories the internet built around the Carters' kids. That's where the outrage comes in, because folks are furious that Jason is allegedly using children as leverage just to rattle Beyonce. One person said, he just showed his hand and proved Beyonce right for not wanting to be around him. How is he going to threaten and blackmail her over something he claims she doesn't even know about? That comment hit hard because it showed just how low people felt the situation was sinking. Another person added, this is a vile and dangerous person to be around. The fact that he's blackmailing her on social media is a prime example of what real love is not. Beyonce is smart. He is jealous of her and will desperately do anything to be in her circle. His character is horrible. The internet didn't hold back. Of course, not everybody wants the drama to end. Some people are practically cheering for Jason to spill whatever tea he claims to have. One person even commented, you can best believe that if he does release his receipts, everyone, including me, will be watching. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of attention Jason seems to thrive on. In Hollywood, being at the center of the storm can be its own kind of power. But what if the picture-perfect world we've all admired for years wasn't real at all? What if the shine, the perfection, the billion-dollar aura was just smoke and mirrors covering something much darker? That's exactly the kind of energy Jason Lee has been pushing, and he's not whispering it. He's blasting it like a siren aimed straight at the BeyHive. Jason S. claiming that behind the glam, the flawless performances, and the polished empire, there's another story. One built on control, manipulation, and secrets tucked so deep that exposing them could flip everything we thought we knew about Beyonce herself. And the way Jason is talking, he's not describing gossip. He's describing revelations big enough in his words to shake her entire legacy. He's even openly called out people around her. I think people like her publicist, who I love, and I'm just being critical, that's what I do, they play a part, he said. He then mentioned that they were trying to book Kelly Rowland and implied that if he didn't get that interview because of what he was saying, there would be a problem. Then I'm putting out receipts, he warned. The receipts I just told you about, then I'll put those out. A co-host responded, the fires that will come of that. Jason didn't flinch. I ain't worried, I ain't going nowhere, I'm telling you right now, I'm not playing this industry. Before the drama got this extreme, people thought this was just another media personality venting. But that moment, the suggestion that he'd reveal damaging information if he didn't get what he wanted, made viewers wonder if they were watching someone test the limits of Hollywood's unwritten rules in real time. Now let's rewind this chaos to where the storm actually began. The real shift didn't start with shady tweets or random rumor threads. It started when Jason Lee, the loud, unapologetic voice in the Hollywood gossip space, got completely iced out of Beyoncé's exclusive Renaissance movie premiere. He says he spent over $40,000, tickets, travel, wardrobe experiences just to show love and support, but he was still cut from the official guest list. Here's the messy part. Smaller influencers, creators with a fraction of his reach, walked that red carpet like royalty while Jason watched it all unfold from the sidelines. To him, that wasn't just a snub, it was a message. Loud, intentional, cold. Jason snapped. He went live furious, dragging Beyonce for allegedly overlooking black media and questioning whether her public support for the community was genuine or just convenient branding for a global superstar. At first, audiences shrugged it off as another celebrity meltdown. But then Jason started hinting that he had receipts, real ones, that could break the Beyoncé narrative in half. That was when the temperature changed. After the premiere scandal, Jason's energy turned sharper, more calculated, and way more personal. He stopped talking like a hurt fan and started talking like someone holding files that could cause trouble. He accused Beyoncé of selling an image of a flawless, untouchable goddess while quietly fighting off cracks behind closed doors. He suggested her team pushed perfection so aggressively that any imperfection became a threat they would bury instantly. Every time Jason spoke, he made it sound like he'd seen things nobody was meant to see. Suddenly, the feud wasn't about a snub. It was about a power structure, an empire built on silence and strategy, and Jason acting like he had the keys to shake that entire empire loose. He dropped a bomb that made everyone stop joking and start paying attention. He claimed live on air that he had proof. Then he pushed it further, saying he'd stay quiet only if Beyoncé gave him an exclusive interview with Kelly Rowland. That didn't sound like commentary, it sounded like a threat dressed up as a negotiation. Viewers were stunned. Was Jason really trying to pressure Beyoncé in real time, or was he warning her that if she pushed back, he could crack her whole brand open? Nobody knew, but the tension spiked instantly. Then the rumors hit a new level. Jason's camp started saying Beyoncé's marriage had been over for years, that the power couple we all admired was more business than romance. He claimed they lived separate lives, flew on different schedules, and only appeared together when cameras or contracts required it. Fans began re-watching old interviews and red carpet moments. Suddenly, those calm, composed looks started feeling cold, distant, almost uncomfortable, and once people saw it that way, they couldn't unsee it. Jay-Z's name got dragged deeper into the conversation, especially with people trying to connect him to other major players in music who are now surrounded by accusations. Those networks, those old photos from parties and tour, fans tried to build timelines out of them. Beyoncé's smiles during speeches started looking more forced than warm in some viewers' eyes, and whispers from alleged insiders claimed any split wouldn't just be about love. It would be about money. Allegedly, there's a multi-billion-dollar empire between them, and neither side wants to make a move until every contract and every coin is secured. But while tabloids chased divorce theories, Jason kept hinting that the real story wasn't about romance at all. It was something deeper, sharper, and much darker. He started dropping cryptic clues, coded phrases, strange comments, little hints that fans later connected to growing allegations surrounding some of the most powerful names in music and entertainment. He claimed Beyoncé wasn't the clueless bystander people assumed, that her silence wasn't about innocence but strategy. According to Jason, she's been quietly building new ventures, structuring new deals, and reshaping her public image piece by piece to stay untouchable when the entire industry finally cracks. Around that time, old stories from Beyoncé's past started resurfacing, and somehow Jason's name was attached to every single one. He reminded the world of something people love to forget. Beyoncé didn't just rise to fame randomly, she was shaped for it. He painted her as someone whose career was guided from day one, every professional move planned, polished, engineered. Jason pushed a chilling angle, suggesting that what fans celebrated as her iron discipline might actually have been extreme control behind the scenes. He pointed to older insider stories, including claims from people who once worked close to her, describing an environment where everything was managed tightly, almost obsessively. Then came Jaguar Wright, doubling down with her own claims, saying Beyoncé lives inside a gilded cage, worshipped by millions but trapped by the machinery built around her. Jason ran with that narrative, hinting that Beyoncé's flawless image might be one of Hollywood's most powerful illusions, a brand so perfectly designed that even her challenges turn into carefully packaged storytelling. Fans were already shaken, but Jason didn't stop there. He hinted that the roots of Beyoncé's fame carried shadows people never talk about. He began pulling up old interviews, timelines, and industry stories that didn't line up perfectly, whispering about blurred mentorships, questionable alliances, and relationships from her early years that raised eyebrows among insiders. Each clue made the story darker, and the silence from Beyoncé's camp made it louder. Jason pushed the idea that her rise wasn't the sparkling fairy tale fans believed. He claimed it was built on hidden deals, quiet power plays, and people working behind the scenes to shape her path. Before long, fans were connecting their own dots between old rumors, her discovery story, and how much of her young career might have been influenced by forces way above her. Speculation exploded when Jason began highlighting industry patterns, how young women in the business often get controlled, pushed into certain roles, and silenced when they push back. His followers instantly started comparing Beyoncé's story to other stars who have spoken about pressure behind the scenes in Hollywood and the music world. Even though Beyoncé herself never joined that conversation, she stayed polished, private, and untouchable, letting her work speak louder than her interviews the same way she always has. But Jason insisted her silence wasn't elegance, it was strategy. According to him, that quietness is how she keeps her empire bulletproof, by saying nothing while everyone else is losing control. The narrative spun even faster when fans remembered Beyoncé once worked closely with powerful men who are now under serious scrutiny. Jason didn't have to name drop. The timing, the tone, and the clues did the work for him. He made it sound like Beyoncé's distance from the chaos might not be as clean as she wants people to believe. Then the coincidences started stacking up. Uncle Ron's mysterious passing, old conspiracy theories crawling back to the surface, and then the wildest one, the long-running rumor that Beyoncé used a surrogate for Blue Ivy. Jason didn't confirm anything, but his comments definitely reignited the internet's obsession with that storyline. Fans resurfaced the infamous clip of Beyoncé sitting down and her dress folding in a strange way, a moment conspiracy circles twisted into evidence. Even though it was debunked years ago, people online spun it back into whispers about a secret surrogate, and some even tried linking it to Jay-Z's past relationships, turning harmless fashion footage into a full-blown mystery board. Once Jason even vaguely touched the topic, the rumor mill went back into overdrive, proving one thing. When he talks, the internet listens, even when the claims are nothing more than smoke and fan-fueled theories. Timelines flooded, comments exploded, theories spun like a tornado. Jason didn't shut anything down, not one thing. Instead, he let the mayhem breathe while posting cryptic captions like, "The truth always finds daylight." That quiet confidence drove people crazy, making everyone wonder if he actually had proof, or if he was just playing the smartest game in Hollywood, knowing how to stay just this side of saying too much. Either way, it worked. The internet erupted, and suddenly Beyoncé's image of total control started looking shaky in real time. Then came that infamous Grammys moment, the one fans dissected frame by frame. Jay-Z took the mic to defend her legacy, calling out how she's won more Grammys than anyone and still doesn't have Album of the Year. But he never said her name, not my wife, not Beyoncé, just this young lady. The entire room froze for a beat. The woman he once called his muse suddenly looked like a stranger standing beside him. The tension on that stage was electric, you could feel it through the screen. And when Jason kept poking with more shady posts, the whole situation turned into a storm nobody could escape. Clips went viral instantly. Fans asked, does Beyoncé even love him anymore? Others posted, why does she look so cold? Jason dove right in, pushing ideas about contracts, performances, and marriages built for business instead of connection. Before long, people were questioning everything. Was Beyoncé's whole life, the fame, the love, the flawless perfection, just one massive performance she couldn't fully control anymore? And just when fans thought the drama had peaked, Jason teased that he had more information coming, something even bigger. People braced themselves, expecting a bombshell big enough to shake pop culture to the ground. But underneath all the speculation, his claims opened a darker conversation, not just about Beyoncé, but about the entertainment machine itself. Because if even a fraction of what he implied was real, that her rise came with quiet pain, manipulation, or hidden pressure, then it shows exactly how this business treats its stars. Like chess pieces, not people. Jason painted her as both the product and the prisoner of an empire too powerful to ever let crumble. That idea hit fans hard. It flipped Beyoncé from an untouchable icon into a woman possibly trapped inside the very world she built. And that shift changed the entire tone of the conversation. Some people actually started feeling sympathy, saying maybe Beyoncé isn't the villain Jason sometimes makes her out to be. Maybe she's the victim of her own legend, boxed in by the myth she created. Others weren't buying that at all, insisting she always knew the game and chose power over openness. Jason's version is dangerous, because he mixes real moments with wild whispers until nobody knows where the truth ends and the storytelling begins. And that's exactly why this whole saga refuses to die, because the world loves seeing a crack in perfection. When it comes to Beyonce, even the smallest flaw turns into breaking news. Jason didn't pause, not for a second. He claimed Beyonce has been working overtime behind the scenes, quietly securing her freedom, stacking new deals, launching new ventures, and building out her own empire piece by piece. According to him, it's all proof she's preparing for the fall of the partnership that helped make her a billionaire, or at least a massive shift in how that partnership operates. Every small detail became a clue. Her solo red carpet walks, the missing ring in certain shots, the mysterious captions, the way she barely speaks about her personal life anymore. To Jason, every move screams strategy, a slow, careful exit plan. And whether people believe Jason or think he's reaching, one thing is clear: he struck a nerve. Fans have felt it for years. Maybe the perfect couple, the perfect queen, wasn't as flawless as the world was told. Now the internet is split in two. The BeyHive is fighting with claws out, and others are calling Jason bitter, clout chasing, and still mad about being iced out of that premiere. Still, plenty of people admit
This is
Jason's words feel a
incredible,
little too
isn't
close
it?
to
Yeah, it
home,
really is.
because there's just too much smoke for audiences not to wonder if there's at least a tiny spark somewhere. And Jason, he's enjoying every second of it. He keeps teasing that he's nowhere near finished, hinting that everything we've seen so far is only the beginning, the prelude to a bigger reveal if he ever decides to pull that trigger. In one shady post, he wrote, "When you build your empire on illusion, truth becomes your biggest enemy." Fans rushed in asking, is he talking about Beyoncé again? Jason stayed silent, and that silence spoke louder than anything he could have said. Now the internet is locked on one massive question. What does Jason Lee actually know? Is he bluffing for attention, or is he sitting on receipts that could shake the throne of one of music's most powerful icons? For now, Beyoncé hasn't said a single word, not one post, not one lyric, not even a hint of shade, just silence. And that silence is making the world lean in even closer. Because when Beyoncé goes quiet, it usually means she's holding the rest. But this time, it feels different. It feels like something is shifting behind the curtain, like even she senses the ground moving under her feet. As the debate explodes online, one thing is crystal clear: Jason Lee did something almost nobody has ever done. He made the world question Beyoncé. Whether Jason is telling the truth or just stirring chaos for clout, his words cracked her perfect image wide open. Suddenly, the glitter, the control, the legend, all of it feels like it might be hiding something she doesn't want dragged into the spotlight. And Jason, he might be reckless enough to pull the curtain back anyway. So now it's your turn to think about it. Is Jason exposing something real about the way Hollywood really works behind closed doors? Or is he just playing the villain for attention in an industry that rewards the loudest storyline?